That's exactly how it was with the salad bar. It was shut the fuck up. It was like uh it was religious. It was almost like a funeral. And you respected everybody's space, and you went up one by one, put your plate out. You know, you sheepishly loaded it up, and but you fucking loved it. And like nowadays, these people are assholes that you got me surrounded with, and so's the computer guy. Really, I've never been disappointed with you, but today would be the day. Yeah, but beside that, nowadays it's really nice. Like you take this corner store down here, you can. That's all you ever need to fucking live. Although, good luck with the prices, but it offers everything you could possibly want. Back in the day, to smoke pot, it was not only illegal, obtaining the paraphernalia was extremely hard. You couldn't go down to the gas station and buy a bowl. If you did, no, but you couldn't do that. You'd have to go to a specialized, what they called head shop, and that would be a tobaccoist or some kind of smoke shop. And you go in there, you know what I'm saying. And when you went in there, you could go into the back, pull a curtain. There'd be big jaw sticks burning, just like in Paizo Miser or Orion's head shop. That's where I used to frequent. I used to rehearse in the back of the Orion, so I'm familiar with the head shops. Plus, I'm a major pothead, and yeah. So you'd go into these little shops, and they were amazing little shops. They were dim, dark. There was a funeral vibe always, a dark, dark, quiet vibe. Nobody talked in the store because it was illegal to say, "I want to buy that bowl. I want to buy this piece." You'd have to point to it. The proprietor would bend down behind the glass, procure it for you. Don't say a fucking word. Put it into a paper bag, wrap it in tissue paper, ring you up. Then you would be like, "Oh, I forgot." And then you'd walk over to where all the screens were, and you'd point to a pack of like a 50 pack or whatever, or a 20 pack. You'd be like, "I need some of those," and he'd nod knowingly. He'd nod like you were giving him condolences about the dead, and he'd ring you up for the screens for the bowl. But if the second you say to him, "Can I take, can I see the smoke pipe? Can I see the bowl?" No, you can't do that. You can't talk like that. You can't imply it. You can't. It was just like buying illegal child porn. You can't imply it. You can't say it. You can't hint to it. But when you went into these places, it had that vibe where nobody said a fucking word as a result. Nobody wants to get thrown out. There'd be Steve Miller playing, you know, and you could point to the water. I guess you could say things like, "I'd like to see that water pipe," and maybe he'd take it off the wall and show it to you. But the second you imply that yeah, no, it's serious as cancer. It's no longer rebellious to smoke pot either. It doesn't mean shit. Back in the day, it used to. Back in the '50s, you were really saying something, you know. Nowadays, everybody smokes that shit. It's like catnip for lactose intolerant children. You know, that's what little girls want to do. They want to smoke cotton candy fluff and know nothing about the flower. But through repetitious use, little mealbots become a genius at these weed strains. But that's what most people want. You know, they don't understand. They don't even know what THC is. If you had, you know, it's not rebellious anymore. There used to be a serious stigma attached to it. You go to prison. You know, what you mean? You have a marijuana bowl and you have a water bong. You have a water. You couldn't say bong back then. You have a water pipe at home. The feds are coming in with the drug dogs to terrorize your family cats and to break up your home if they knew about it. Bongs, bowls, and pussy holes. That was some underground biker shit. You know what I mean? There's nothing to compare it to these days. It's like, shut the fuck up over there. Jesus Christ. I have to keep pausing because this guy's an asshole. There's nothing to compare it to these days. It's like, what do you do after weed these days? Weed isn't even illegal. So what do you do that's illegal? By default, there's no variety of drugs. I want to see teenagers going around on an exotic drug. on an exotic teenager drug that, rebellious. You can't even buy booze, but you're smoking that shit. I smoke it. I smoke it for different reasons, man. And it's not always fun times and happy smiles. Sometimes, often when you smoke pot, you have to reflect on yourself, and you have an internal crisis, and it's a shitty trip. It's always that way. Then you get parent. I watch the world, and everybody just smokes that shit happier than hell. It's like that's not the point of it. You're supposed to have to look inside yourself. You know, there's days when you roll a good joint. There's days when you have a good marijuana high. Weed was totally illegal, and you know, you had to sit around and wait for it.